Welcome, guys. Evolutionary Podcast coming your way. Welcome, guys and gals, because we do have female listeners too. We really appreciate all of you that listen to this podcast. Stevesmi here, and Rick is in the house. We are social distancing, though. We are not together for this episode. We're social distancing. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, Steve? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing out there?
All right, guys, so this is number 306. This is going to be a fun episode, guys, a more lighthearted episode. Last few, we've kind of been talking about bad news, but let's kind of get into some lighthearted talk. First one, let's talk about, Rick, what have we been doing the past few days to stay fit and to stay sane? Because we've been kind of jailed. So what have you been doing, Rick, to stay sane and stay fit?
Just doing new things in the kitchen, new recipes. Reading a bunch. That's been a really, really good way to stay chill, is reading a bunch. Watching a lot of news. Caught up on a couple of audiobooks that I wanted to make some more progress on. And just pretty much info. And, I'm homebody most of the time anyway. I do travel, but once I settle, I like to chill, like to be at home. So it hasn't been that hard. Just opportunity for reading, a lot of exercise, calisthenics, and watching my diet. That's also been kind of fun. Since I'm home, it's real easy to count my macros. So I just keep a little piece of paper around the refrigerator and fill stuff in. It's just been pretty chill, actually. How about you, Steve? What have you been doing?
I've been, having a lot of fun pond hopping. Freshwater fishing isn't something I've done very much over the past 20 years.
You're supposed to be home.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the freshwater fishing, Rick and I were talking about this pre-show, because I'm not sure what your idea of fishing is like going on a pier with a bunch of people, but actually all our piers are closed. So what I've been doing is just going to ponds like in the middle of nowhere. I take my bicycle and I just bicycle down the street. And if I see like a canal or I see a pond, if I see something, I have my backpack with me. I have different types of baits, artificial baits. I have jigs. I have plastic worms. I have all kinds of things, soft baits. So I'll find like a canal. I'll find the pond in a neighborhood, and I'll just ride my bike in there. Even if it's like a gated community, I'll just still ride my bike in there and just find a pond and fish it. And I've been, it's like nobody's there. Like nobody's around. So it's really, really nice.
Yeah, you're supposed to be social distancing, man. You come in contact with the fish and stuff. Do you catch and release, or you take it home?
No, catch and release, man.
You're coming into close contact with the fish.
What I'm doing, Rick, is I give the fish a nice French kiss, and then I put them back. So
if you go to the same spots, have you ever caught the same fish twice? Because sometimes fish will hang out in like one spot or one little cut. Canals.
You won't catch the same fish the same time, usually within a few hours, because they kind of get stressed out and they won't.
We catch them the next day or a couple days later.
I have gone fishing in the evening, the same spot, and next morning caught the same fish. And the reason I know it was the same fish because he had my hook and my bait in his mouth still from the night before. He cut me off the night before, so I went back. I caught the same fish. That actually happened to me twice in the past couple months. So you do catch the same fish because, yes, they are territorial, so they'll hang out in the same place.
They got those Bluetooth tags you could buy at Best Buy. Can you, clip one on the fish and then you come with your cell phone and track it later?
Yeah, they do tag fish, like the big game.
Yeah, but you could buy the little, they're like the size of a small.
Kind of track it.
Yeah, and you could put it on the fish and then let it go. And then you come back to the same spot and you could track it.
I could track it.
And it links up Bluetooth up close too. Yep. What you could? Here's a real idea. You put that on the fish, and then you shoot it with some nandrolone and some EQ, and then you release it back. And then when you come back a couple weeks later, it could have gained 10 pounds.
So you catch you catch your world record fish.
You catch a huge, just like a monster. You know what
Hook
I mean?
Him up. Give him some time.
Yeah, he'll be all juiced up and he'll come back and eat all the other smaller fish and get really, really big. And then, and since you tagged it, you could come back and when you find it later. You know what I mean?
Juice it up, man. Juice up the fish. Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's what I would do if I had like a
a plot of land and have like a fish farm, and I juice all my fish, but they don't be for me, right? I wouldn't sell them. I'd just eat them. That'd be like a good way to deliver steroids if you like grow your own like livestock and your own fish, and you just juice them up. So the meat already has the steroids in it. What do you think about that, Steve?
Yeah, that's good. What's ironic though, I'm catching some. I've caught more fish from your side of the world than native fish. I've caught non-native fish.
Oh, invasive species in Florida.
From Amazon.
Huge problem. Huge
from
problem.
Amazon, yeah. From your.
Why don't you, for extra cash, why don't you like start like catching anacondas and turning them in? Don't they give you like a couple $100 per anaconda?
Yeah, the Everglades, they have a program where they actually pay you to catch anacondas. But nah, bro, I'm not a killer. I'm a,
But the anaconda's an invasive species. It's not supposed to be there.
I'm a lover, not a killer. So that's the humans' fault. We should kill the humans for releasing them, not the.
So you always release the fish. You never take it home and cook it up.
No. If it's I'll keep fish to eat when I need, when not from the fresh water though. I wouldn't eat fish from fresh water, but from the ocean, I'll keep some fish and eat. But most of the time, yes.
Why won't you eat freshwater fish?
I just don't think they taste good. But number two, because of the pollutants in the water, right. All the crap that's in these ponds and canals and stuff. You don't want to be eating that. I don't think it's safe.
Down in South American freshwater fish is actually the cleanest you can get because you catch it pretty close to the water source. Water comes. Yeah,
you catch piranhas and
stuff. But once the water gets Florida, those waterways run miles and miles and miles, and maybe that's why it picks up a lot of pollution, a lot of people around.
Yeah, it's
freshwater.
Well, the runoff. It's the runoff from neighborhoods. They spray all that shit in neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That's the runoff.
All the stuff people put on their lawns to keep them nice and pretty. It runs off. Everything. We pesticides, all kinds of stuff runs off. Oh, it's too bad. Yeah, the Everglades are getting all fucked up. Those anacondas are like eating everything. A lot of invasive species there that are not supposed to be there. Yeah,
but one of the invasive species though, Rick, peacock bass, which is from the Amazon. You can go catch that where you're at. Those are actually put in down here on purpose. They were put on purpose because to eat the invasive species like tilapia.
Every time they do that, it backfires. They tried to do that in Australia. Introducing one animal after the other to eat the other, and then when the animal gets there, it doesn't eat the one you want it to eat. It goes and eats something else, something local.
Yeah. So but this is working though. The peacock bass is actually more protected than the largemouth bass, so it is actually working. But we do have a lot of invasive species, but they're pretty. The invasive species are the pretty fish. They're all colorful and stuff. They're not just brown and boring.
So Colombia has its own little Hawaii, its own little Jamaica. It's two islands. They're called San Andres and Providencia. San Andreas and Providence, and they're beautiful islands. They're actually coral islands. They were millions of years ago. They were big coral mounts, and then the sea levels dropped eventually, and these coral mounts, they just disintegrated. And now you have these gorgeous little islands and all the sand around it. It's not really sand, tiny little pieces of shell. You could just pick them up and go through them in your hand, and they're all tiny pieces of shell. And the lionfish, there's a lionfish infestation, and it's eating up all of the local species, messing everything up. The whole ecosystem is off balance because these lionfish, they just tear through everything. Nothing eats them, and they're just vicious hunters and breed pretty quickly. So lionfish have become invasive. I think in South Florida too, no?
Yeah, but they're in the reefs. They're offshore
in the reefs. In the reefs, it's salt water.
Big problem. But they do pay people. You can actually buy them in Whole Foods. They sell them in Whole Foods all over Florida, and they taste actually delicious.
Yes.
So people actually buy them. They actually go kill them, and then they pass them over, and people actually buy them. They taste like snapper. Which is
people spearfish them right out of the coral, and
it's the only fish that I know of that you can actually catch and kill and just waste, because every other saltwater species must be thrown back. So that's the only one lionfish that you can actually waste that I'm aware of. I'm sure there's others, but that's the one because it's so dangerous.
Invasive as fuck. Yeah, it's invasive as hell. It just tears through everything, and nothing eats it either.
It's too powerful, and it has those spines that kill anything near it. So
Yeah. Huh.
all right. Yep. So guys, we have a listener question. This guy wants to know if my dad gets the COVID-19, would clenbuterol helps, and since he has a history of a breathing illness. So first of all, clenbuterol and albuterol, they're both drugs that were approved in some countries as a bronchodilator for asthma, and they're B2 agonists. So they have, they work as a stimulant, thermogenic drug. So a lot of guys use them for that purpose in bodybuilding. So when he asked the question, a lot of guys chimed in, kind of being rude to him, but it's actually a really good question. And Rick, you have some experience with this, with family members. What do you think about this question?
Yeah, man. Well, my mom thinks she had COVID around November. She's a healthcare worker, and she was sick. She had pneumonia. She stayed at home most of the time. She didn't go to the ER, but she made regular doctor's appointments and drove herself out there and went. And she got prescribed albuterol, the inhaler. And she doesn't. I asked her specifically to come on the podcast today and discuss this. I asked her if she thought it helped or not. And she says she doesn't really know. She says it's the first time she used it, and she couldn't really tell me either way if it helped or not. She doesn't think it made it any worse. But the albuterol inhaler she got from the doc, because back then COVID wasn't even on the radar. And again, we don't know if she had it, but she thinks she does. She had all the symptoms, dry cough, pneumonia. She tested negative for the flu. And this was end of November, early December. And everything matches up to the symptoms that have been reported everywhere. And yeah, a beautiful inhaler. She doesn't think it made it any worse, but she also couldn't tell me it helped. And this is coming from my mother, as a healthcare worker at a clinic.
So you guys are going to remember with this, the coronavirus, the virus causes COVID-19, okay, which is considered a disease. Okay, it's just like how HIV causes AIDS in situations. So you got to remember, there is no cure. There is no cure for this. The only thing that you can do is treat the symptoms. You got to get a handle on symptoms. Example, if you've got a 105-degree fever and you go to the hospital, guess what? They're going to throw some ice on you to get your temperature down. That's not this causing the fever. It's your own body causing the fever, because your own body's trying to destroy this sickness. So your body in this situation freaks out and starts hiking your temperature up. So if you go to the hospital for a really, really bad fever, they're going to pump you full of drugs to get your fever down. They're going to throw some ice on you to get your fever down. They're going to give you an ice bath, whatever, get the fever down. So it's a perfect situation here. So if the clenbuterol helps your dad breathe easier now, and he has trouble breathing on the COVID, then obviously it would probably help him a little bit, but it's not going to cure him. So I'm sure there's better ways to help your dad breathe better. That's why ventilators are so in demand right now, because you hook someone up to a ventilator, they're going to be able to breathe a lot easier in oxygen. So clenbuterol would not be something that you're going to see doctors giving people, because there's much better options. But like I said, if your dad is already on albuterol, clenbuterol for asthma, an inhaler, that's something that he's going to want to take regardless, to help him breathe better. So I hope that answers your question, guys. And, that's the solution there. You have to treat the symptoms. You're not going to be able to cure anything. You can't cure the flu. You can't cure a common cold. You can only treat the symptoms and hope your body destroys it. And the ironic thing is, the more you treat the symptoms, the longer it's going to take to get better. That's the weird thing about the way our bodies work. Like if you have a little mild fever and you take Tylenol to get your fever down, if you have like the flu or something, it's going to take you longer to get better, because you're basically fighting your own body's defense mechanism. So that's the ironic thing about this. This is why Western medicine is, you cannot just depend on throwing a bunch of drugs at a problem. You have to, your own body has to cure itself, has to heal itself. Drugs and all this, they just cure the symptoms. They just help you with the symptoms. I won't even say cure the symptoms. They help you with the symptoms, help you get through it. So in the close people I know who've had this, they were miserable, 2 or 3 weeks of being miserable, just like your mom, Rick. And, they were able to overcome it, luckily, because they do exercise, they do eat generally well, and they were able to get through it. But if they were not in good shape, they did not exercise regularly before, and they got it, they would probably succumb to what happened to a lot of people, where they just die. So, or they end up in the hospital hooked up to a ventilator. So, guys, keep your body strong. Keep your body strong starting now. And we've talked about it before. Guys, smoking, vaping, even smoking pot, that's all going to affect your breathing. So if you get this thing, it's going to really, really make it hard to recover from this, obviously. Anything else to add, Rick?
Hey, you want to be healthy to begin with. You want to make sure digestion is on point, everything. Back health, sure you're doing your yoga, proper eating, exercising, doing your cardio. Just make sure you're everything. You have all of your vitamins, all of your minerals, everything is in order. That's really important. As long as your body is fine and it's healthy, your immune system will find an answer to how to get rid of this bug. Your immune system will generate the solution to this bug and make you survive it just fine, the way it has in the past with other bugs you've gotten. So just make sure your body.
So give us some supplements, Rick, while we're on this topic. Give us some supplements that you think will help boost your immune system. Not cure. You're not going to cure. Yeah, you're not going to cure.
Right now, what I'm doing is 5 caps of Entugard every day, 2 tablets of 3D multi, and I'm taking 4 tablets of HC Generate ES. And to me, that's getting all of my minerals and vitamins that I need. It's helping me keep my own organs cleansed, and my immune system is fine. I'm not taking anything particularly to boost the immune system. I'm just giving my body what it needs every day and helping me just keep my organs clear and ready to go. It's supposed to, if you do get this thing, it's supposed to affect like your kidneys somewhat. So even proper hydration, staying away from alcohol. If you're sitting there at home during quarantine time drinking, you're just weakening your body to deal with something if you do get sick. So make sure to stay away from alcohol. Just keep your body cleansed. Keep your diet clean. It should be much easier than ever now that you're home and you have full control over your foods and how everything gets prepared. You should be able to eat about as clean as you've ever eaten if you're home. So even if your significant other's home, they could prepare better meals for you, even if you're an essential worker, still have to get out the door. So this should be just an advantage to eat the best you can eat. And besides that, what have I heard? I heard a store owner out of NY who's got like 3 stores. He's telling people that just put in a light coat of coconut oil all over like his skin, lips, nose, whatever skin he thinks he feels it helps him to, as an antibacterial, anti-anything. If he thinks if COVID gets on the coconut oil, it won't survive. So he's telling people to do that. Some people taking Golden Seal, Echinacea, and just hoping to boost their immune system. Seen a lot of ads now on my Facebook and Instagram feed for transfer factors, which is basically, from as far as I can tell, it's like egg whites and colostrum. It's like the main ingredients in that. And yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff, but just out of my store, if you guys wanted to grab something out of my store that you should take every day just for your home workouts, if you're juicing, you take it, you still on your cycle because you have enough weight at home in your garage to take care of business. It's just Entugard, HC Generate ES, and just throw the 3D multi on there. So taking the Entugard at 5 caps and the 3D Multi 2 tablets. That's a good little combination that I like, and gets a good amount of the essential stuff that I need in my body. And the HG Generate ES is just a good idea. I like taking it normally. I'm on it probably 6 to 8 months out of the year, and it's just good to take right along with your cycle, especially if you have a significant other at home. It'll help with that situation too. You'll be a lot less bored. It'll be great. So that's what I recommend.
So in addition to what Rick was saying, let's talk about the obvious ones. Number one, sleep quality. And it's hard to sleep right now because everyone's stressed out. You have money stresses, you have all kinds of stresses. You're not getting you may not be getting the same exercise you usually do. Exercise is the best, sleep remedy. So you guys got to find a way to sleep, get good quality sleep. Blue blockers, grab some blue blockers, put those on in the evening. Even if you watch TV or you're on the computer or something, still it'll make you tired. You get the melatonin levels up. Next one, guys, stress. Again, hard. It's hard right now not to stress. We're all worried. We're worried about our loved ones. If you have a loved one that works in an essential job, they got to go to work every day. You're worried about them. You're worried about, the economy. You're worried about your stocks. You're worried about your 401k, your IRA. You're worried about, what's happening around the world, people dying. You're worried about your community, businesses shut down, your customers losing their job, your customers losing their businesses. It's hard right now not to stress, but that stress is just complicating things. You got to relieve that stress, guys. You got to relieve that stress. Like I said, like Rick was saying, yoga before bed. If you do yoga before bed, that will reduce your stress.
What do you call the stress, Steve? What was that word that you called the stress?
Got to get the baby batter out.
There you go.
I mean, you got to get the baby batter out somehow, guys. You got to go do something relaxing. What we talked about, some fishing. Go do some fishing. It's relaxing. Get away from your house. The house is stressing you out. You got to find something. Go to the woods. Go hike in the woods. You can go out and walk and bicycle and stuff in these places. You're allowed to go exercise. Even in here they're pretty loose in the United States. Where Rick lives, you can't do shit, but here you can actually go and bicycle and stuff. So get out and do something. And the third one, guys, fasting. There's been some guys on YouTube and social media saying that fasting is dangerous. It's dangerous right now. But here's where I retort that, because yes, it is true. When you fast, your white blood cell count drops temporarily. And then when you come off the fast, you get some new troops. So when you come off the fast is when your immune system is the strongest. That is true. I'm not denying that. But what they don't understand is when you're fasting, your body is in full fight or flight mode. Your adrenaline is up. Your body is on high alert. So actually, when you're fasting, even though your white blood cell count does go down, you still get the benefits of boosting your immune system during that fast. So you can't go wrong with throwing in some 24, 36-hour fast here and there, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day fast here and there. That will boost your immune system, give you a last shot in the arm. So those are three ironclad ways that we know that will boost your immune system. And all three of those are really hard to do right now. Probably fasting is probably the easiest one to do right now, ironically, but sleep and stress is very, very hard for everybody. All right, guys. So I'm going to get Rick on this one. We have some UFC news, and because there's nothing else right now going on in the sports world, we have to talk about fucking UFC. I'm particularly not a fan, but Rick is a huge fan. I like football myself and hockey and like real sports. No offense, Rick. But since those are not happening,
your games. You like
I'm giving Rick shit. But Rick's a big UFC fan. And we have news today.
I'm a fan of fighting.
You're a fighter. I'm a lover. You're a fighter.
I like fighting, any form. Boxing, kickboxing, K1, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, just mano a mano, man to man.
Let's do it. I would never fight you, Rick. I could never hit you. I could never put my hands on you.
I don't train to hurt my friends or family. I only train to vanquish my foes.
So what's going on with this news? Apparently this guy from Russia, what's his name? Caleb or something? What's his name?
Khabib you know, I practiced the fucking pronunciation before the podcast, and now I killed it.
I got Rick messed up. But this guy,
no, it's okay. Well, let me try this. Let me try this. So wait a minute. I'm gonna try to pronounce his last name. See if I find it. So he is Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's how you're supposed to pronounce it, I think.
All right, now say it 10 times straight. I'm just kidding. So he was supposed to fight in this UFC match. Okay, it was supposed to be the prime event. I do know that they have prime events, so they have, you know, the fights that no one cares about really, and then they have the last fight of the night, which is the big.
Well, he's the champion. He finished Conor McGregor, which is probably one of the most popular sports superstars in the world. So, and Khabib finished him, so he is the champion.
Gotcha. So he was supposed to fight in this UFC 249. He pulled out because he refuses to fly to the United States. He doesn't want to get sick. He doesn't want to get his family sick. So they switched him out for another guy. And now they're going to still do the fight, but they're going to do it in a Indian reservation in California. This way they can get around the, you know, essential business stay-at-home order. And it won't be in front of people because the last one they did in Brazil, Rick, was not in front of people because Brazil let them do it. So the way they're skirting the laws in the United States is now they're doing it in Indian reservations, and now they're gonna try to do some on a private island apparently. So tell us a little bit about what you think about this whole controversy, because really we have nothing else to talk about, unfortunately, when it comes to sports right now. So we have to talk about this. What do you think about this, Rick?
Do it. I think it's awesome that they're doing it. I'm glad that the UFC keeps the fights going and there'll just be no crowds to expose people to any danger. Do it. I love it. I think it's a great idea. I think the fighters are fine. They're young. They're strong. And look, when you're a fighter and you have to roll on mats at a gym several hours a day, every day, your immune system tends to get a nice workout right along with your body, because just the different amounts of sweats and fluids and everything you come in contact with at these fucking gyms. So I think these guys are fine. I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think the fighters are probably all going to be just fine. They would be part of that huge asymptomatic group, even if they did get the Rona. I'm happy they're doing it, man. Great. Keep it trucking.
So my issue with this is, like, why do it like in California where it's a stay-at-home order?
California love. You got to do it, man.
California love.
That's a Dre song. Yeah,
West Side.
Yeah, something like that.
No, that's Tupac, man.
Yeah, Pac and Dre.
Oh, okay.
Pac and Dre. Out on bail without a care, California dreaming.
So, I mean, I got an issue with this because we found out actually today that they have to do a certain amount of fights this year under contract. So they're only doing this just to fulfill their contract. They're not doing this for no other reason. So at the end of the day, you know, you're putting money instead of, you know, manning up and just being like, look, we can't do this until the stay-at-home orders are done. And
these fighters got families. They want to make money too, brother.
Well, the NBA and the NHL and NFL and stuff, they have families too, though. Yeah, they're actually, you know, they're more broke than these guys because they can't. The NHL and NBA, the players actually have to give back money in the NBA. We found out to the owners. They're all broke, man. They live paycheck to paycheck too. So, but I mean, the guy in Russia.
But that's 10 guys plus 4 reps on the court at one time. It's a different story. It's completely different.
So you're saying because it's one-on-one, right? You're saying
mano.
Yeah. What about the ref? What about the other competitors there? What about like anyone who's there, the media or whatever, to take pictures, to film it? You got someone to film it, right? It's going on TV. It's going to be on ESPN or pay-per-view.
It's still less people. It's still less people than a basketball or football game. Way less people.
But you're still exposing people. That's the problem. If it was that easy, they'd still be playing hockey without a crowd. They just can't take that risk. My issue is, what about
most people are going to be asymptomatic, and even the people that do show symptoms, the chances of you really dying from it are quite small. And
But why
I
do
think
it though? It's just for money. That's the only reason they're doing it though. It's just, you just said it. It's for money. So we're putting money ahead of lives.
there's a universal saying. Have you ever heard of this saying? The show must go on. The show
Well, I
must
mean,
go on.
Broadway, Broadway
The show
shut
must.
down.
Well, this is show
PBH.
business. Whether you want to, I mean, accept it or not, it's show business, and the show must go on. Show business must go on. So
That's
whatever
fine.
happens-
Let it go on. I got no problem if they go to one private island, but don't do this in fucking California, bro. Don't flaunt, the stay-at-home order in California. People in LA have been doing a great job.
You don't like it because you think it's like disrespectful, like subversive. Is that what you're saying?
I just get the feeling this guy strikes me as a complete asshole.
Who,
This guy
Dana
runs
White?
UFC. Yeah, he
Well,
strikes me as a complete
he doesn't
douche.
own it. I mean, but he still
Yeah.
runs it. But he's
All right. I have
you
more
know,
respect if he just
the way he
came out and said, you know
communicates.
what, but he lied today. He was on ESPN. He completely lied about the reasoning for doing it. He's saying,
What'd he
it's
say?
so our fans. He said, so our fans can get their minds off of things. That's not why. It's because they're under contract. They have to have a certain amount of fights. They're actually way behind.
They're probably going to have record-breaking pay-per-views because since people are not going to gather at some of these big places anymore, everybody's going to be ordering from home. Probably going to have some.
But I mean, if he
blockbusters
manned up and
pay-per-views.
said that straight up, hey, we're doing this because we're on contract and the show must go on. If he said that, not come out and act like he's doing this for humanity, I'm not going to watch it. Are you going to watch it?
Look, everybody,
Less.
unfortunately, everybody does it. I mean, even the guys running for office, they're not going to tell you that they're running because they want to make more money. They're going to tell you they want to run it because they want to change things. They see something wrong and I want to change it. Bullshit. They're trying to set themselves and their families up to be good for generations. And that's why they do it. So, look, everybody lies a little bit about the reasoning when the final reason really is putting bread on the table and making money. When that's the end, most people will skirt having to admit to it. But look, not just him, the fighters who want to make money too. Khabib Nurmagomedov, he's paid. He's paid, and he's like, making dollars and spending rubles. Like he's good. He's chilling. But when it comes to some of these guys that are only making, 20,000, 30,000 a fight, and they have maybe 2 fights a year, these guys are hungry and they want to compete. They want to fight. They want to stay on level. And look, you're when you're in there bleeding and on a canvas that other people have been walking through, I mean, you're already in a petri dish of shit. Everything from staph infections, ringworm, you are tuberculosis. I mean, you're susceptible to. When you're in a gym, when you're in that training setting, there's no escaping being inoculated, being contaminated with things, right? So just the Rona is just one more thing to add to that. And it's not like that. Look, it's not like that when you play basketball. You can play basketball and be on your feet and not hit the paint the whole game, and and maybe bump into a guy or two. But when you're even practicing for fighting, you're on the ground. Your whole body is wiping the mat, wiping the ground with your whole body. So it's a different, and the contact is a lot closer. And sometimes people's blood gets on you and their snot gets on you. It's different. So I don't see Corona being just that much more dangerous than what these fighters already face just in training in the dojo.
You've convinced me, Rick. You've convinced me on this one. I think Rick won this debate. I think if it's just the two of them fighting and no one else, it's fine. But if there's
I'm
other
sure
people
they'll be
having
wearing
work-
like PPE and
No, I mean if there's people there working
back in the back, yeah, everybody
and
will
they
have
get
face
it
masks.
and they get it and they spread it. This is a problem. The NFL.
Oh, it'll
draft-
blow up on their face. It'll be such
Yeah.
a bad PR. I think if they're smart, they're going to require that everybody wears protective gear all the way up until just the guys fighting. They take it off, and then everybody from the ref to the cameraman to anybody there to the corner people in the locker rooms. I think they're going to probably make everybody wear something. Maybe set the locker rooms further apart so that people are in separate locations. If they're smart, they'll also spread them out of the hotels, so not everybody's staying at the same hotel. I mean, they'll do a good job of this if they're really trying not to have this become a PR mess for them later on, because 15 people that were there got sick, 30 people that were there got sick, and then you have a big mess in your hands. So if they're smart, they'll do it just right, where they can pull this off and then not have a big scandal from it. Because they're just waiting in the wings to mess them up over this. Like they're just waiting to crucify them for daring to continue to run their business while we have this thing going on right now. So hopefully they'll be real smart, and there won't be any reported cases or anything bad coming from this, or it'll be bad.
All right, guys. So we got a couple more topics here. Tips with getting along with significant other and kids. Because a lot of people right now, they're driving each other fucking crazy. Everyone I talk to, they're driving each other fucking crazy right now because they're at home all the fucking time. And not only that, they're fucking prisoners in their home. There's nowhere to go. Even if you want to go somewhere, there's nowhere to fucking go. So what are some tips to not drive? Aren't you lucky, Rick? You're divorced. Could you imagine? You'd be going crazy right now.
What are you going through? Are you guys okay, or is it starting to wear on you already?
No, we're fine. It's not like we don't have kids or nothing, so don't bother me. I mean,
it's kind of cool. Like yeah, you guys are adults. Met, got together as adults, and you get along. It's cool. I'm fine. I think.
All right, you're fine, but what happens if you were married with kids?
What happens if you're married with kids? I don't know. Kids are fun. They really are, and maybe you have a good chance to spend time with them, really get to know them, and really kind of take advantage of what's going on now, this pause, and just help shape them to what they can be, to the best they can be, and help shape them into the adults you want to be really good friends with later on, and take that as an advantage. So even when they're being a little bit annoying, even when they're kind of, getting on your nerves, because, they're kids and they're home all day. So they don't like that either. They like to go out. You just examine it, and just see them, realize they're going to be adults one day, and take this as an advantage to shape that. Take this, the fact that life slowed down a little bit, as time to really pay attention to your kids and work on them, the right way. That's the only approach you should have towards your kids. That's it. And as far as your significant other, look, play video games together, watch porn together. I mean, just do something, and just don't argue, don't fight. Just chill. Try to spend, if you can, try to.
It's the money issues too, Rick. If you're being squeezed with money and stocks are going down and you're taking a beating in the stock market and everything, the money issue kind of hammers you guys. Because I mean, we're not getting much relief. Some car insurance companies announced they're dropping the premiums by 15%. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. So I save $15 a month on my car insurance. I mean, it's fucking absurd what's going on right now. Like, there's no help. So, I mean, how do you balance that? The money issue, that's not fun.
Well, the one thing that you need to make sure when you have money problems is to not get emotionally wrecked over the money problems, because that'll hinder your ability to resolve the money problems. The problem will just continue to build onto itself. So you just have to practice a lot of just emotional discipline, and realize that money is just that. That's why we live in the best time to be alive in the world, because when money can become the biggest problem in your life, that's actually pretty darn good, because generations past had problems where penicillin wasn't invented yet, or the Lord could do whatever he wanted with the peasants of the land. I mean, we had real fucked up problems before. So now your only problem is generating this green paper, and you got time, and you got credit, and you got social media, and you got free coaching. Guys will tell you how to make money, and on social, you really just condense it to that. It's money. It's not causing you physical pain on the spot unless you let it. You just got to figure it out. Look, I have problems coming up, bro. I mean, just to share with you, Steve, my manufacturer already let me know that some runs of product that I had ordered and foreseen, they're basically not happening. He's not saying they're going to be late a month or 2 or 3. He is just saying they're not happening, bro. Now, this is a guy who would tell me, hey man, things are going great, when he might be late by a few weeks. So the fact that he's now not even giving me any little bit of slight hope, I know that I might be out of products to sell. I'll start to be run out in the next couple of months. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I have this business, family, everybody relies on it. And I'm really on my way to running out of some bestsellers, some products that took years to gain a good following and everything. Yeah, Entugard and Entuslin are the first 2 that I'm foreseeing are going to run out. What am I going to do? I'm figuring it out right now. But I tell you what, I'm not like losing sleep over it and completely wrecked, anxious over it, even though it could spell the end of everything. But I'm getting really proactive to fix it. And that's a real problem. I'm going through some of these financial problems and issues just as much as everybody else out there. My only attitude towards it is just, look, it's just paper. It's just money. My body's fine. I'm healthy. Kids are healthy. We're good. You know, I can resolve the rest. So I'll have to figure something out. And that's it. And getting really, I know the income, as soon as the products are run out, the daily income of the business will drop. And I already know that's going to happen. And I don't have a huge plan already. I'll prepare for it. No, I'm kind of winging it. I have no idea what I'll do. But I tell you, one thing I know I won't do is I won't get anxious and crazy about it to the point where it cripples me, it hinders me from coming up with creative ways to resolve the problem and having the optimism that things will work so that I can work on them every single day, just knowing things are going to pan out. Like that's one thing that I know that I need to keep my brain focused on. So that's what I can tell anybody out there that has any monetary problems, any monetary issues, or you can already foresee in a couple of months this and that is going to happen. Look, just don't be attached to material things. Don't be too attached to the material. Bottom line, it to your health, physical, mental health should be number 1 and 1. There's no number 1 and 2. It's just one health, mental and physical. And as long as you have that, you can generate wealth, you can generate income, even if there's a hiccup. But you have to keep yourself healthy, mind and body, and not get anxious and not lose sleep and wreck your health over some money that might not come in a few months, or maybe not. It's not coming in now. And I mean, that's the best thing I can offer. If I'm talking to you right out there and you don't foresee monetary issues, but you're having them right now, like today, look, I've seen tons of people on Facebook offering free food and to give people food and meals if they request them. A ton of people I've seen locally too. If you don't have it and you need food and you're not reaching out for help because you're ashamed or something, it's no bueno. You're not going to go without food, without a meal. There's a ton of people out there. I've seen them offering foods, a ton of churches that'll give you food even if you're not from that religion. You'll have food. You'll be able to have a place to stay. I don't think they're letting anybody get evicted now, right, in any state. You just
not every state, no. In certain states.
Certain states. All right. Just write it out. Just write this thing out. Don't let it wreck. Don't let the problem itself hinder your ability to resolve it and to see your way out of it. Because if you do, then I mean, you're done. You're screwed. You're screwed. So I'm going through it now. I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. But if I run out of the top 3 sellers, that's top 3 best sellers. That's half of the business. They're gone. And it's not like I could run to another manufacturer because everything is slow. Coming in from China is slow. All of the manufacturers in the East Coast and the West Coast, they're all affected by this. There's some manufacturers in the southern states, but to get started with a new guy and pick up, it's tough. It's hard. It's going to make it take longer anyway. So what am I going to do?
So, I mean, if you're having these problems, isn't every supplement company
going
to have these problems too? So you're saying there's not going to be any supplements in 3 months?
No, I didn't say that. Okay. There'll be a lot of stuff will run out. A lot of your favorite brands will not restock certain items. You're going to see a lot of brands coming up with new products based on what materials are available. There's going to be a shift. You're going to see a lot of stuff run out of stock, and you're going to see a lot of new different products that you've never seen before.
Won't someone, they'll fill in that vacuum if they see an opportunity to kind of step in? Why is there not someone, waiting for
there always is, and there always is, and there will be. There always is, and there will be. But it's just what part. It's like where on the market or where on the ship are you when it goes down? If you're at the part of the ship that sinks first, then you sink first, or you could be at the part of the ship that that floats all the way till the end. It depends where you're at. So if this thing hits, it depends how much stock you had, how much raw materials you had already in the country. It depends on a lot of factors. So, I mean, I'm figuring out ways of fixing it, obviously, but it's not a clear 1-2 solution. And I'm going through things like this just like everybody is. If you're not in an essential industry, chances are you're getting into debt with the banks. If you were in an essential industry, chances are you're being affected in some way. Supplements or any kind of foods or anything, supply lines. We rely on China. And also people are just out sick. There are people that are out sick. There are people that have quit, refused to go to work. Also, they have some people work in some factories and manufacturing places that used to have office staff and manufacturing staff. Now the office staff is trying to work it from home. They're down to skeleton manufacturing staff crew. And also the raw materials are real slow coming in. So it's going to be at least the next 12 months is going to be turmoil as far as supplements and nutrition goes, and brands being able to get stuff in. So any of you guys out there that like Entugard and like Entuslin, those two specifically, then and Entugenerate will be the next one, and then ES. Those are the first 4 that are probably going to run out. Pick them up now. There's a good chance that once they run out, we might lapse on them for months, because one raw material not getting in on time will hold back production of the whole product. If people have known my 44 ingredient formula and Entugard, I can't just drop 2 or 3 ingredients and not make it a big deal, because some guys might buy the product because of 1 or 2 of those ingredients, and they'll notice that it's missing, and I'll have a big problem. So everything's got to be in, or we can't make it. And that's where we're at right now. Not only is my manufacturing really slow, down to 10% capacity, but the raw materials are real slow coming in, and that's with there still being stocks of raw materials stored, ready to go somewhere. We still haven't hit the problem now with a lot of vegetation. A lot of crops haven't been demolished by locusts in Africa. That shortage of material is probably going to hit in 12 to 24 months. We're going to see probably a hit, because a lot of raw materials, a lot of herbs are grown in Africa, and some of these places, because good soil and good growing seasons, and get into the supplement capsules later on when they're processed. So it's a lot of challenges coming by. I'm in as much of trouble as everybody else, but getting worked up about it is not going to do anything. It's just going to make it harder to take the steps every day. They're gonna fix things.
If you just dwell on the bad shit, you'll drive yourself crazy. You'll stress yourself to death. I see that a lot with people right now. They're just stressing out over things. They're bringing the stress on themselves. But look at the positives, things you got. I think most people, Rick, would kill for your life, I mean, you fucking got 3 different homes, New York, South America, Vegas. I mean, those are the fucking 3 places every guy would want to live. You bang different chicks every night. I mean, you got everything, man.
You
got a supplement company. I mean, you get the dream.
I do.
You get the dream life for most of these guys.
I do.
All right, guys. Look, we're over our hour, guys. Believe it or not, we have some topics that we didn't even get to. All right, guys. So one more topic before we let you guys go. Let's talk about how to date in the 21 day later phase of our existence. So dating right now, I'm really at a loss. Like, how do you take a girl and invite her out to dinner? How do you invite her to a movie? All these regular activities you would do with a girl, even going for a picnic on the beach or going to the park or something, all these places are closed. So, I mean, you're pretty much like, how do you get to know someone right now? How do you do a first date, second date, third date in public? There's nowhere to go. So it's really tough right now to get to know somebody. So those of us in boring relationships look like geniuses right now, because if you're single and you're trying to meet people, it's not going to be easy. So, Rick, what's your thoughts on this? I wonder if how things are going out there for people who are doing online dating and dating apps and stuff. How's the hookup situation going? Or
I don't know. I don't do the apps. I think you told me you're the app guy, right? You're the
No, I never did apps. Believe it or not, I never met a single person on app before. But I have a friend who did. I haven't talked to him in a while. I'll have to ask him.
Right. It's hard. You might not get to meet or go out on any dates right now. It's right now. If you're single, you're single, it's tough. It's one of those times where you just have a building phase. So if you're not dating, you're not meeting girls, you're not meeting guys, if you're female listening, then it's time to work on yourself. Work on the product, work on your offering, everything top to bottom, from health, eating well, read up on a couple of good books, read books about the topic, about the subject, read books about, being everything you can be. So if you're not dating, if you're like, oh, I'm single, fuck, this caught me with being single, I can't meet someone, then just work on yourself to become the best version of yourself. So when we get out there, maybe you'll meet some single people, right?
So I got some statistics for you, Rick. Apparently, this dating guru has said that people are actually craving connection more than ever because it's constrained. So they have she's saying that you have a heightening feeling for a lot of people that they would really like to have a romantic partner right now. So the dating app stats for Hinge, 30% increase in messages for March. Tinder, there were more than 3 billion swipes just on March 29th. It's the highest number of recorded swipes for a single day in the app's history. So people, what they're doing a lot of virtual dating. They're meeting people like through, Zoom and all this stuff, and then FaceTime, and getting to know people that way. So, I mean, there are people going over it. So I wonder if it's going to, get people more involved in stuff like this. So there has actually been a big explosion in this online type of thing. So this is where people who are like experts on online dating apps and online dating websites, those people who have like 6 dating apps and they're subscribed to like 5 dating websites, they look like geniuses right now, because now there's so many people now headed to the internet to meet people, because you can't meet people in a bar, you can't meet people in a club, you can't meet people in a restaurant, you can't meet people at the gym, you can't meet people at yoga, you can't meet people anywhere now. I mean, where are you supposed to meet people?
And
So
when we finally do get out of this, everybody's gonna have masks on, so you won't even be able to tell if a girl's cute or not.
yeah, that's good. That's a good
It's
one.
true for sure. It's true. That's gonna change a lot. You know, remember this. You used to walk into these places and could see a woman and see what she looked like. Now it's going to be different.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, we're gonna probably be wearing masks for a few months. Maybe.
I
And then
think
if
this is
it
going
goes
to
on,
be more of a permanent thing, bro. I don't think it's just going to
could be. Considering, this thing is supposed to die off a little bit later this year and then come back next winter, spring. So this could be a thing where you got to get used to meeting people. I was in the grocery store, actually. There's this cute girl at the cashier, and she's doing my groceries and stuff. And I would have, probably asked her out. I was wearing a mask. So I don't know if I was single, if I would have asked her out, she wearing a mask, how that would have worked out. So yeah,
I think just out of courtesy, you got to pull it down and be like, look at his face. You want to go on a date?
Then she would say no. So I can't do that.
See, you got to believe in yourself, man. You got to have that conviction. When you ask the girl out on a date, you have to word it like, or you have to just have the attitude like you're setting up the time and day, not asking if, you're just asking when, kind of. It'll work out. We'll see. Unless she's got like a hubby at home, she'll go out. If you do it the right way, even if she's got a boyfriend, she'll go hang out with you for a day.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm reading about, this is what this lady suggests you do. These are 4 things you can do right now for a date. You can draw together. Draw together. That's a good one. Fishing.
That's fun.
You can go fishing, like what I do. Go fishing. Teach her how to fish. Swimming. You go swimming. Find a place.
As long as you don't catfish, it's fine.
And then the last one, cooking. You can have a cooking date. That's another option. But can you do that on a first date and invite a girl over to cook? I mean,
I've done it.
I know you've done it, but if she's, she's probably gonna assume you probably want some poontang. So that's a tough one. So those.
Well,
those
then if she shows up, then she wants some dick too.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I think it'll be fine, dude. I think. I don't know. It does make.
So
it
you're
tougher.
single. What are you doing then? Why don't you tell us?
Well, I think you don't listen to the podcast, do you? I told you actually when I came down,
so
right?
So you are in a
relationship. Let me tell you. So there are these Instagram fitness models that are helping us with marketing. So when I was coming down to the expo in Medellin for the Latin American Mr. Olympia, came down to the expo. We were just going to meet up and some professional stuff. So went to the expo. After the expo, we were like in the same city. We met up, had dinner together, then went to the gym together next day, then had lunch that day, then went to the gym together again the next day, then had dinner that night. So we just started hanging out because I was down here on some business stuff, and it was just convenient to be at the gym together. And then when things started to get locked down and the government said people have to stay home, we just kind of we were already kind of seeing each other, and we just discussed it, and she stayed here with me. So she lives in a studio apartment, and this place that I'm staying at here is a pretty decent sized place, and if you're going to be home all day, why not? So we just hanging out together. It worked out pretty well, man. I mean, I'm I have challenges, as I discussed earlier, with the brand, the business, how we're gonna stay alive with now supply lines from China drying up, and working on it. But look at the bright side. At least look, I have a brand new girl that I'm chilling with, and we stay out of each other's face throughout the day. She does her thing, I do mine, and then we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But during the time that we're not eating or making love or working out together, it's been great. I don't know how to describe it better, but it's been good. But again, it's she's gorgeous,
fitness model, work out every day. We're having fun together. And we both realize we're both really trying to make the best of it and have fun. And that's what you have to do. You have to realize, like, it's not the ideal situation. You have to make the best of it, no matter where you're at, who you're with. It'll become part of, you'll be stronger from it later on if you can take this situation and make the absolute best that you possibly can, because it is rough. It's tough for everybody. Having to stay at home, having a distance from people, having uncertainty as far as work or your money situation. That's enough to make anybody crazy. So just finding the good in everything and trying to be the best in everything, finding the best in everything. That's key. So
when's the date? Have you guys set a date yet?
A date for what, bro? Dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm never, are you getting, why aren't you getting married, bro? Why don't you get married?
I don't want the government involved.
There you go. So no, I mean, we're good. We're not even talking that far ahead. We're just sitting here discussing what's going to happen over the next few weeks. So,
well, once you help her get, you're not going to be able to get her papers unless you marry her.
I don't think she wants papers. She actually has a visa. She's traveled to the States about 3 times. So she has a visa, but no, she likes it here. And what she's trying to do is she's trying to grow her personal training business and grow her brand. She's got thousands of Instagram followers, and she
want to give her a shout on here.
She's got a couple. You know what I might do? I might give her a boost. Introduce some of the members on the forums and stuff just to help her out. Might do that. She's helping us market in the Latin American market. It's same brand and TBM, but we have a different set of products for South America, and the marketing, the way we market here is different in South America. In the States, we sell direct to consumer right from our store. In South America, the influencers sell hand to hand. It's not like multi-level, but they sell direct, and it's all influencers, and it's all person to person. We're not putting stuff in stores, and we don't have a direct store you can order from. We're doing like a social, real kind of grassroots, like all the competitors that are real important. They help us move person to person. Like I said, even the products are different. The products that we sell here are different. The reason I have girls marketing the products in Colombia, not so much in the US, is because here I'm really pushing the fat burners. Those have been a good sellers, and some of the basics like creatine and stuff like that is still a go here. Where, stateside, the guys that buy my stuff are using steroids. So they need a product for, Anti-Guard for the liver, kidneys, blood pressure, all that good stuff, and to generate for protection during their cycle, so their testicles won't shrink, to bring them back after cycle for post-cycle therapy. So that's my market in the US. But in South America, steroid users are not buying supplements. On the other hand, a lot of the girls and a lot of the guys are just trying to lose a little bit of fat, get toned. They're buying a ton of fat burners and creatine and some of these real basics that maybe don't move as well in the States, or are more competitive in the States, I think.
All right, guys. Look, we hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. It was entertaining. Hope you guys learned a thing or two. And, keep the questions coming. We'd love to read your questions on the podcast. For Stevesmi and Rick, this is another episode of Evolutionary.org podcast. Talk to you guys next week.
Have a good one, Steve. Have a good one, guys.